So EventLab was first introduced in Forza Horizon 5 as kind of like an experimental thing, and now it's cemented in the Horizon series. I think this is going to be something that's we're going to see in Forza Horizon 6, Forza Horizon 7, if that's even a thing in the future, but it's now going to be a big part of this series. And even though they've pushed it more and really pushed it more than they did in Forza Horizon 4, I still think they're underutilizing what could really be a strong pull to the Horizon series, because this is just amazing. I'm going to be going through a couple courses in this video, and if you just look at these creations, you think, how do people think up this stuff? And I recently came back to Horizon after taking a little break, and it always pulls me back into this game, because if you look at the normal races that you experience through the base game, they get really repetitive really fast, especially when you consider you revisit these races often because of the seasonal challenges. But when it comes to EventLab, there's always something fresh. This is someone's creation, and we all have different ways we look at designing things. We all have different ways we look at designing a course, or how we look at a racetrack, and it shows. Like, this is all, like, sometimes there's some really mediocre stuff, but usually when you find something that it sticks out. And I really wish the devs would push this more in the way they present the game. I will give them credit. They have changed the playlist to implement more EventLab events, and it has helped, I think, in making this making the season something you want to visit and you want to see what people are making. Because honestly, I think we were all getting tired of the seasonal events and the 3 races that we had to do around the map. But these EventLab events have been really fun, and they have chosen some really good stuff over the months. So I've been loving that, but they could do more. One of the small things that I think they could do immediately to make a big change is having the EventLab be more prominent in the menu. So when you go into Forza Horizon 5, you go into the menu, where do you find EventLab? Not in the first tab, not in the second tab. You find it all the way, almost the last tab. And just before you go and buy the car packs. And I'm like, what is it doing over here? I mean, you could talk about how the Horizon the Horizon series needs kind of a refreshed menu system, because this whole thing is crazy, but it's all the way back here, and you expect people to be coming back to experience these creations. These are not something that is this is not something that's at the forefront of the menus. You have to go all the way to basically the last tab to find these things. So I think a new way, or either you push them up or you find a way to have them be at the forefront when someone enters the game. You show them maybe the top 3 events of the day. That'd be awesome. And I think people would love that, and people would be more motivated to enter into EventLab events. And seriously, if you push this, I'm telling you, you'll see people playing this game more, because this is where it's at. Another big improvement that could be made would be the loading times and how fast you actually get into events. This takes way longer than it needs to. One of the big things that was touted as the big experience for this generation of consoles was how fast everything would be, that you'd barely have to deal with loading screens, or they just would not exist. And there have been a lot of games this generation that have been utilizing that to great effect. But Horizon, well, not so much. I recently went back to Forza Horizon 4 for kind of like retrospective video that I'm making, and immediately one of the things that stood out to me was how quick the menus are. Like, seriously, go back to Forza Horizon 4. The menus are faster. How is that a thing? And the time it takes to switch to different cars and all that, everything just feels smoother. And you don't get that experience in Forza Horizon 5, and it really hurts when you want to go into the event lab. So you have to go into this far off menu, you get into an event, or you want to go into, you find an event that you want to enter, and then maybe you have to go to the other island because they made a separate island, and now you have to go there to enter into that event. And then if you want to go back, then you have to wait for that loading screen, and everything's just so janky and it's not smooth. There's no flow to it. So I feel like that's another small change that could be made that would just add to the flow of the game and add to people experiencing these amazing creations more. But I think the biggest change that could be made for EventLab, and the biggest change we need for EventLab, is to implement it into the actual base map, or the actual Horizon Mexico map. Because we have this open area, and I understand that this is because of the Eliminator and other reasons, but we have this large map. Couldn't we take at least a portion of it and have people create stuff, and maybe we alternate every month or every week? Because we need something to keep this game refreshed. Because this whole evolving world thing has been cool. The seasons that we've been getting have been interesting, and they've been really working hard to make new, to implement new ideas onto the map and make things look nice. What they've been doing with the stadium has been really great, and I applaud them for that. But if we had the event lab in the actual world, that would be amazing. The possibilities would be literally endless. One of the biggest gripes people had with the DLC was that they couldn't just go to that map from the base, from the main island. They had to go through a loading screen to get there, and they thought it would be part of the whole, all those islands would be connected. It wasn't, and I don't think it's the biggest deal, but it was kind of an inconvenience. But when it comes to the event lab, but when it comes to the event lab, this could be part of the map. Just if you look at, for example, Fortnite, they've done they are the, honestly for me, the peak or the greatest example of what you do for live service and what an evolving world actually looks like. And a big part of that is letting people create things and showcasing that. You have a fan base that loves to make stuff. Look at all this event lab content that people have been working on, spending hours, painstaking hours, plotting down this smooth road, right? Like, it's crazy. And you're not fully utilizing that. That's honestly insane. So come on, guys. People have been working hard creating stuff. Reward that by showcasing that, making that putting that at the forefront of the game, and I think that would really help retain a lot of people in the Forza Horizon 5 game, and you'll see a lot of people spending more time in the game. Because honestly, for me, apart from the new cars, unless I see something interesting, there's no reason for me to come back. And I'll drive around for a bit, experience the new car. Maybe I'll enter the event lab, but there's no flow. There's no quick way to enter into those kind of events. So I don't honestly feel motivated to do anything. And then I just leave. So yeah, the event lab's amazing, and I think it's a great idea. And what we have right now is good, but it could be better.